Hello everyone and welcome back to Arctic Retro, and in today's video I'm going to take a look at this one, an Amstrad NC100. And it is in the middle of the summer now, and I have slowed down my schedule, as you might have noticed, trying to publish a video every 2 weeks. And then when we're back in the autumn, I will go back to my regular schedule at one video once per week, hopefully. But that depends, of course, how much material I have, what kind of machines I can get, and what kind of ideas I get about what to do with those machines and retro stuff. I'll just pause briefly here to thank my sponsor PCBWay. They are sponsoring this video, and if you are a hobbyist like me and sometimes have needs for PCBs, then you should try out PCBWay. Not only do they make very good quality PCBs, they also provide a range of other services. Let's take a look. If you visit PCBWay.com, you can get an instant quote on very good quality PCBs for affordable prices. Besides good quality PCBs, PCBWay also offers CNC machining, sheet metal fabrication, 3D printing, injection molding, among other services. And if you have advanced needs for PCB manufacturing, then check out their advanced PCB options at PCBWay.com. And one of the reasons that I can keep this channel running is that I get donations from viewers from time to time. And this is an example of that. I got this from Mario, and yeah, it's in very nice condition, needs a little bit cleaning. This is real leather, seems like. And yeah, the computer looks alright. I have tested it. It does start with the battery, but not with the power supply. But after a little while, it complains about the CR2032 battery is low, and then it just shuts off. So I need to take a look at that, and then I'm just gonna clean it up and see if we can do any restoration on this. But before that, let's take a look at the technical specs of this machine, and yeah, a little bit of the history of it. Me personally, I have never seen this machine before. I didn't know it existed, but then again, I don't know everything about all the machines. The Amstrad NC100 Notepad computer was manufactured by Amstrad and released in 1992. It's an A4 sized portable computer, and that was actually Alan Sugar's baby. Alan Sugar was the founder of Amstrad. It came with a word processing software, calculator, and various organizer-like programs, and it also has BBC Basic so that you can write your own programs. It was designed to be portable and easy to use, and the advertising was that if you can't use this new computer in 5 minutes, you'll get your money back. It has an LCD screen with 80-column text and 8 rows, and it was not backlit. It could run up to 20 hours on 4 standard AA batteries. The machine was also marketed and sold as a couple of other brands, like the Dreamwriter 100 in British Columbia and the ES210 in Japan. Later, Amstrad released an upgrade variant, the NC200. A little bit about the specs of this machine. It has a Zilog Z80 CPU running at 4 MHz. It has 64 kilobytes of RAM and 256 kilobytes of ROM. It also has a RS-232 serial port that you can use to communicate with other machines or use a modem, and it also contains a parallel printer port. It has a PC card socket, and that means that you can insert additional RAM up to 1 megabytes. And the machine also includes terminal emulation and an X-modem file transfer software that makes it easy to transfer programs from a PC, for example. Alright, that was a little bit of information about the machine, and let's try and power it up. I have tried the 6-volt input, but it didn't work. However, with the batteries, it was able to start. It takes 4 AA batteries. Yeah, as I said, the machine looks alright. It has this loose bezel here, and gonna fix that. But let's turn it on now. Yeah, here you see, and it goes into set time and date. Okay, so now we are into press red for address book, press green for calendar. Yeah, I obviously need to learn how to use this machine, type a new password. Yellow and red for word processor. So start a new document. Yeah, it seems like it doesn't want to do the things I do. Press stop to exit, and I press stop, but nothing happens. If I press red, nothing happens. So clearly this machine isn't functioning right now. I had it working with document and typing before, and when I tested it last time, after around 1 minute, it just complained about low CR2032 battery, and then it shut itself off, and that doesn't happen now. So yeah, but anyway, I'm gonna take it apart now, clean it up, see if there's any battery leakage going on or has going on before, maybe some damaging from that. Yeah, now you see the lithium battery is low. Please switch off and replace battery. However, I tried with a brand new battery before, and it was the same. Alright, I'm gonna open it up, but first let's take a look at this little door here. It has a red mark. Yeah, and it seems like it has a ROM. It says Amstrad NC100 V106 English, so that's probably the spell check ROM for this version. It probably came in different languages. Okay, I can see a couple of screws here, so I'm gonna try and remove all the plastics. And there's one screw over here in the battery compartment. That was a short one. The other was longer, and hopefully there's no screw under this sticker. Okay, let's see now if we can remove. Yeah, it's probably just clipped in here and there. Yeah. Okay, I'll turn it around so that we can see. Yeah, so that's the ribbon cable for the LCD screen. And there's a contact for the speaker, I guess. Okay, this is gone. Yeah, this part looks very clean and very nice. So yeah, that's all the driver chips for the LCD made. It says Japan Citizen. Alright, so now we see the motherboard, and I can see that it is mostly surface mounted components. So that means that this is not easy to fix, I guess. So this is the keyboard ribbons. I took out this one. The other one is a bit stuck. I have sprayed a little bit of electronic cleaner down there to see if it loosens up. I don't want to use too much force because it can easily break, and it's so small it's hard to get a grip. Yeah, it finally came loose. And now we can remove the keyboard. Nice keyboard. So now I should be able to take off the motherboard. Yeah. And it has this shield on the back, and that is secured with these hex screws here. So I'm gonna remove those. This machine actually can print. It has a printer port, and this is serial for communication. That's loose, and yeah, that's loose. And here we have the underside. And yes, look at that. Seems to be some corrosion going on. And yeah, look here. Oh man, that's a lot. So I guess the battery here might have leaked, and you see all that white gunk there between all those surface mounted components. So yeah, I think we have a cleaning job ahead of us now, and yeah, might not be successful. Look at that. All right, anyway, I'm gonna take all the plastic parts and clean them up now, and then I'm gonna see on this board what we can do. The keyboard looks very nice. There isn't a lot of dirt under the keys, so I'm gonna just leave it as it is for now. I'm just gonna blow some air between if there's any dust trapped between. Alright, it's time to tackle this mess here, and for that I'm gonna use IPA alcohol and some vinegar. This is 35% vinegar acid, and it is meant for cleaning, not food. So here we can see the mess. This white stuff, this is something I haven't seen before, but this is a lithium battery, and it must have come from that. There's a little over here. If I touch it and smell, it smells, yeah, like acid. Okay, I'm gonna start with some alcohol and try and gently clean this up, because if you use too much force, you can risk, of course, to rip off some of the components. I can't see any caps that has been leaked on the other side, so yeah, it is most probably the battery. Just gonna leave that alcohol for a while, and yeah, it seems like it neutralizes it. It's the white color is now gone. Then I'm just using a soft toothbrush here. And now I'm actually gonna take this down and rinse it off with water, running water, just on this side. There's not a lot of holes here, so it won't go through to the other side. So now after rinsing it in the water, you can see that it formed this white layer. So yeah, just gonna use a little vinegar over here and then let it stay for a while, just to neutralize any acid that is remaining. Yeah, now it smells vinegary in here. And I got some on this small wound I have on my finger, and it burns like hell now. I just leave the vinegar here for a couple of minutes, then I'm gonna take it down and rinse it off again with the water. You don't want to leave vinegar on electronics. If you leave it and don't clean it off, it can actually start eating away the metal. Okay, now it's really clean and looks good. There's still a little bit of some white stuff layer. just gonna spray everything with a good amount of alcohol, and that should help evaporate anything that's left moist. The other side looks okay too. Just gonna clean it up. It has a couple of capacitors. This is a 1000 microfarad, quite small one for 1000, but it's only 10 volt. Yeah, and I think they look good. So no need to replace those yet. And that's the Z80 CPU, and as you can see, it's a very small one. Zilog Z80 9205. So this is probably from 92 then. So it's dried up, and here where all that leakage was, it looks okay. It hasn't eaten away any soldering. The soldering points looks shiny, so maybe we're lucky here, and yeah, that's all we needed to do. So it's actually time to test it now. But first I'm just gonna use a little bit of contact cleaner in the contacts. ABC, always be cleaning. Just use a little contact cleaner all over. Okay, I'm gonna let it dry a little while and then test. Interesting to see that this neat small motherboard with all surface mounted components, and then it has this, two big bodge wires and a true hole resistor. So not sure if that's from factory or someone has done anything here before, but looks strange. Alright, so everything has dried now for a couple of hours, and I'm gonna assemble it partly and see if it works any better now. I inserted the batteries. Yeah, it turns on. So let's see now. I wasn't able to start the word processor. Let's try that now. Yellow and red. And press red to start a new document. Yeah, that works. Keyboard works. Start typing new text here. Let's see now if it turns off after a while. I just ended that document, and you don't have to save, it will save automatically. Let's see, list store documents, press green, yeah, and there it is. Nice. Now I'm gonna leave it on for a while and see what happens. It's been on now for a good while and everything seems to be working. Let's go into this menu. And here you can set different things. Set the time and date. I already did that. And let's test the calculator. Yellow plus green. Yeah. Look at that. 45 plus 6. Yeah, it can actually add. Nice. So now I want to test the 6 volt input using an adapter, and I can't use this because the original is a British one. These plugs don't fit here, so I need to find something else. I got connected the one here. It's a 5 volt, but I guess that will do. We'll see. And this is a center negative plug, so I just made something up here. I didn't find a 6 volt with center negative. Let's see now if we hook this up. Nothing blows or smokes. Yes, look at that. Nice. It actually powered on. It didn't do that before. When I tested it, when I got this, it simply were dead when using external power supply. So this is really nice. However, it didn't remember the date I set before. I thought that should be saved when you have that coin cell battery in, but obviously not. So I'm setting the date now to 11th of June 2022, which it is now, and the time is 16:41. All right, the machine is working very good. No issues. It has been on now for quite some time. It doesn't complain about the battery or anything, so very pleased with that. It keeps the date and time when you just turn it off and on. Let's see if we disconnect it. Yeah, it kept the time now. Okay, I'm gonna assemble this machine now, and yeah, I declare it for repaired, even though it was just a cleaning job. All right, everything is cleaned. I assembled the machine, and now this front bezel is correctly in place, and yeah, everything looks fine. It works. So let's check out what we can do with this machine besides the built-in programs. And I found this really good site. It's called the Tim's Amstrad NC Users site, and yeah, it seems like a bit old site judging by the web design here, but that is perfectly all right. And in here you can find a lot of information about the machine and how to use, for example, serial transfer, and yeah, you can learn about installing CPM on this. There's a questions and answers area, buy and sell, data sheets, also information about the BBC Basic that's in this machine, and the software area here where you can find application and games that you can download and run on this machine. And for the most part, I have only seen basic programs. I'm not really sure if you can install anything else than basic programs on this machine. Maybe it's possible, I don't know. Maybe you have to modify the ROM then. But yeah, so I thought I'll just try now and see if I can transfer some of these programs and run them on the machine. And here's the basic listing of one of these. On the page data sheets, you find all the different user manuals and user guides, and yeah, that's very handy to have. The machine I got, I didn't get the user's manual or any documentation with it, so yeah, this is very helpful if you want to learn more about this machine. Also on the CPC Wiki EU site, I found this one, a surgical guide to the Amstrad NC, and it contains a lot of technical information about the machine, and yeah, also some schematics, and also a list of all the custom chips on this machine, and that's very interesting. Block diagram of the machine, the power supply, and also the pinouts for various chips. All right, it's been a couple of days and this machine has been off, and yeah, as you can see, it still contains the correct time and date, and it still has stored the information I have saved. It has one document here. So what can we do besides just word processing and diary and calendar stuff? Yes, we can program BASIC, because this machine has a built-in BBC Basic, and to activate BASIC, it isn't obvious from any menu, but If you press function B, then you go right into BBC Basic. So now we just can type away 10 print hello run. And I already saved the program. You can save with the save command and obviously load. I think I called it test bus list run. So that's pretty neat that you can use this machine for basic programming. I found a site with a lot of programs in BASIC for this one, but I thought instead of typing them in, because many of those are very long, I'm gonna try and transfer from my PC onto this via a serial connection. See now if we can make that work. I got this USB to regular serial 9-pin connector, and yeah, it has a little chip inside, so it does the conversion, and also an extension cable here. Obviously, if you are into retro computer, you might have an old PC that actually has a real old serial port on it. This machine doesn't have that, so I'm connecting this to the computer, the USB plug in there. And then we just extend with this and connect the other part obviously to the notebook. So now I need to check if I have a serial port configured here, and here in Device Manager, yes, there it is. USB serial CH340 on COM4. The cable you need to use is a null modem cable, and that's a serial cable where the send and receive wires are crossed from end to end, and I think this is it. Not really sure. If not, I think I have another one. Obviously we need some terminal software on both machines, and the good thing is that this Amstrad NC100 already has that installed. And to start the serial communications program, you just press function S. Unfortunately, this is a bit hard to get readable, at least if I'm gonna show the whole width of the screen, but let's see now. To configure the machine with the correct transfer parameters, you just press the menu button, and here you can set up a lot of things. Sorry about the dinging on the machine. Bits, parity and handshake. Now this machine uses the X modem protocol to send and receive data and files, and that's what I'm gonna try to use. But it can actually use other types of protocols or none. I'm not really sure, I haven't studied all that. So it's been a while since I dealt with serial communication on this level at least, and so I need to go through the manual here to see how to actually use it. And yeah, the manual seems to have all the necessary information that you need to connect to another computer. On the PC there's obviously a lot of different programs you can use, terminal software that supports X modem. I have installed this one, the Extra Putty. It's a variant of the Putty program, and it has integrated X modem transfer protocols. So I started it here, and I'm going to use this to transfer over to the NC100. Okay, so I now want to make a new session, and this should be a serial. And I'm gonna select COM4, and we'll try with 9600 bauds. Open, and now it comes up with this terminal window. And on the NC100 it's already set to 9600 bauds, so I'll guess we just go with the defaults on that. Alright, so to establish a connection you need to go to the list of stored documents, function L, and then you see the list, and there is a menu here. Press the menu button, and here we have transfer functions, And here we have X modem send and X modem receive. So I'll select M for X modem receive document. Enter name. I'll download a basic program called Boulder. Not really sure if this is the way to transfer basic programs, but I'll try. And now it says receiving, and now I'm going to switch to the computer. We have this session open already, so file transfer X modem send. I have this file here, Boulder text. Gonna try that. Probably not gonna work first time. No, it can't connect, obviously. Nope, it just says receiving and nothing happens. Okay, so I have verified that the serial cable I have is a null modem cable. I measured pin 3 and 4 and they are crossed. And yeah, also I looked more into the manual, and you can set the type of document transfer and format, and I just changed that to serial and ASCII. You can also use this LapCat ProText and ASCII format, and that uses the parallel port, but then you need a special cable. I don't have that, so serial ASCII. Then if we go into the terminal, and yeah, if you get a connection, then you can type letters, and you can see the output on the other machine's terminal. So let's type on the other machine now. Yeah, look at that. So the communication is okay. I'm just gonna move the camera. I typed hello. Let me type something more. Yeah, and the characters appear, but the other way. If I type on the NC100, I get nothing on the Windows machine. So let's see now if I go to the list of documents and select transfer. And now I'm gonna send the document from this machine. X modem send. Sending 26 characters. Then on the Windows machine I select X modem receive. But then nothing is happening, so seems like communication is only one way for some reason. Alright, so this is not going to be easy, obviously. I actually took out this old compact. It runs Windows 98, and I'm using the terminal program that came with Windows 98, Hyper Terminal. And that was just to rule out that there is something wrong with either this Windows machine or this USB serial converter here, and it's the same issue. I can send characters from this machine over to the NC100, but not the other way. So sending works, but when typing on this machine I don't get anything back. So then there's two possibilities. Either this cable is not working, it's faulty, I need to check out that, or there is a fault in this machine that's making it not possible to send from it. But to rule out the cable, I'm just connecting these two Windows machines now and see if we can talk between those. Okay, so I'm typing here. And look at that, it shows up on this terminal, and the other way around. Yeah, that works too. So the cable's alright. The problem is in the NC100 then. Alright, I have opened up the machine again, and we know the cable and all the communication parameters are correctly set. So obviously then it's a fault with the machine. It cannot send, only receive. And I actually doubt I can figure it out, at least not in this video, but I'll at least make a little effort. I could not find the schematics for this motherboard. However, I found some technical information and a block diagram, and yeah, the driver chip for the RS-232 port here is this one, and that's IC309. So at least I can try and clean up, and I guess maybe these capacitors, since they are near the chip, might be some caps that are used with that chip. So maybe it's an idea to try to replace those. So I just try to measure a little bit and find continuity between the pins on the serial port and the pins on this controller chip, and seems to be directly connected. Yeah, I checked all the pins on the COM port, and it is and all are directly connected to this chip on this side. And also checked the capacitors, and they are also connected up to this chip some way or the other. And I don't have a clear picture, of course, of how this would look on the schematics, but I thought I'll just try and so I'm thinking maybe I'll try to resolder some of these and see if that helps. And everything is very tiny, so you need to be careful. If this chip is damaged, then there's no hope of me getting that chip. I might find it, but not very soon. Just cleaning up everything. But I guess the only passive components here we can replace are these caps. They look alright, but they might be bad. And I guess I'll have to take them out then to check. And of course it might be something completely different. It might be something with some of these custom chips. And I can see some white stuff here. That's not looking good. I didn't clean this side as much as the other side, so look at all that white stuff. So maybe some corrosion has moved its way over to this side. Just gonna clean everything real good. Use a little bit of a contact cleaner. Okay, so I have partially assembled the machine again, and I actually used around 10 minutes now. I thought I have in fact damaged it because I couldn't see anything on this LCD, but of course that was because I have somehow turned the contrast all the way down. And now I need to insert that little battery. I just wanted to see if just cleaning off that gunk helped. It didn't do any difference, so still cannot send. But I suddenly realized that I am actually giving this machine 5 volts input when it is supposed to have 6 volts. So maybe that's the case, because I know it has to convert from 5 volts up to 10 volt signals on the RS232. So maybe that's the case. I'm going to insert the batteries now and see if that makes any difference. Nope, that did not help. Still not able to send anything back to the mothership. It can only receive, so it has probably lost its ability to focus the antenna at the mothership. Okay, then I'm a little bit lost for what to do next. The only thing I can think of is, of course, to replace those capacitors. Alright, let's desolder these caps, and I found a couple of replacements. I'm gonna use this one. No, sorry, that's not correct. I have this one. They are all 4.7 microfarads, so let's see if that helps, and if that does not fix it, then I'm giving up on this for now, at least. Just gonna add a little fresh leaded solder to make it easier to desolder them. I'm using the desoldering station because that makes it easier. I have a little bit too wide tip on it, but I think it will be okay. No, that desoldering station didn't do any good. I think it's clogged up. Just using the manual pump then. Yeah, seems to do better. Yeah, they all came out without much hassle. Then in with the new ones, these shining golden ones. I think these are the smallest through-hole radial capacitors that you can get. And they all have the same polarity, minus pointing at the chip. Okay, then I'm just going to solder them in and then we can test. I have my doubts that it is the caps, but you never know, and we'll see. These caps are not that old, from the 90s. Well, old, they are like 30 years old. Just a little mop-up. Alright, I'm gonna fully assemble the machine now, and then I'll give you the judgment. If this video was a success or not, we'll see. Alright, let's see now. Does it still turn on? Yes, it does. Set time and date. Nope. Okay, now the big question. Does it send any data from the terminal? Let's type on the other machine. Yeah, that still works. And now type on this one. Nope, that did not work. As a final attempt, just in case this was an issue with low voltage input, I hooked up my bench power supply and set it to 7 volts, and yeah, still doesn't work. So then I give up. Alright, I think that's it for this video. A nice little notepad machine. I at least got it to work so that it's usable. However, the serial communication I couldn't get working, and it's hard to tell what's the issue. If any of you guys have any ideas or tips on what to check, I'd like to hear that in the comments. And I really would like to transfer some programs to this. I know you can even transfer binary files, machine-coded programs onto this if you have a memory card installed. And you can also write machine code via the basic interpreter on this. So I would have liked to explore that as well, but I think we'll say this was partly success, and hope you enjoyed this video and that you learned something. And thanks a lot for watching, and a special thanks to my patrons. See you, bye bye.